open it up to media. Let's start us off. Adam.
Phil, your third season starting. Obviously, your first 2 years have been very different. Obviously, an elite attack year one and elite backline in year two. Going into season 3, how will the 2026 Timbers play different than previous iterations of your squad?
Well, I think we obviously want to see. I think we've seen improvement, albeit slowly, in the last 2 seasons. Slower than what I probably wanted or thought. But we've gone through a big transition in the team, and I think as a head coach, I've said this many times. I think in the off season is that you ideally in football, and you don't always get time, but I think in the MLS you do. You want 3 years to build something. I think this is my 3rd year, and I'm not embarrassed to say. I think this is a year when we've got to deliver, and I'm super excited. I think we've had a really good pre-season, and it was nice getting out to Providence Park. Some of the new players, Brandon, Bonateg, and Bassett, got to experience what it's like. They've experienced it as an away team player, but I think when you put the Timbers crest on, I think it feels a little bit different. It feels a bit more special, and we're looking forward to Saturday, which will be a really good game against an outstanding team. And the talking's over, and now it's time to deliver.
Jeremy.
Hi, Coach. It is your 3rd year in charge. It's the 3rd year in a row that you're getting the season opener at home. Last year, the team's home form kind of took a dip, and you finished with a negative goal differential at home. So what is the focus this year, specifically when it comes to home games and how to get better results at Providence Park?
Well, I think if you have any aspirations of having success, your home form has got to be. You've got to win like 90% of your home games. I think that's been our strength. I think this stadium, our set of supporters, the turf, I think it gives us a great advantage, and I think we've got to take advantage of that. I always think our advantage with our supporters is also at times. I speak to all the managers, I speak to all the players that we speak to when we're on the road, is that when away teams come here, they're incredibly motivated, they're incredibly excited because they like playing in this arena. But we've got to make it hostile, we've got to make it a cauldron, and we've got to win games of football. I think in this first 14 games, what we've got to do is we've got to put ourselves into a really, really good place to enjoy the World Cup, but then obviously to attack the second half of the season, I think, and that means that we've got to win. Like I say, we've got to win the majority of our home games. The away games, you cannot predict away games. Away form is important, but I think pick points up away from home and win and be dominant at home is a real good recipe for success in this league.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
Doing well. Happy birthday, Gary. Saw that on your stories, yeah. We had talked in some other press conferences kind of about having a set starting group versus a lot of movement in that starting lineup. And I know that our team isn't full. We're still looking at acquiring players. But with this season this year, can we kind of expect some fluidity this first half as players figure out and you figure out how everybody fits? Or are we looking to kind of have more of a standard set team to start things?
Well, I think consistency is going to be really important. I think that was a big learning from last year. You cannot predict the injuries, but I think having consistency within the spine of the team, I think is crucial. I think having consistency in partnerships on the pitch, whether that's centre-back, centre-midfield players, forwards, or winger, full-back, I think partnerships are really important. It's like anything, the longer you stay together, work together, live together, you become better as a partnership. That's what I found in my life anyway. So I think that's one thing that we've got at this moment in time, a smaller roster, and I think that's really helped in the pre-season, to be honest with you, because what it's meant is that, give or take 2 or 3 players, there's been some real consistency with selection, with partnerships, with the training, and we've also got, I think, 2 or 3 really outstanding young players that could get an opportunity on Saturday.
What was it that first drew you to Cole in terms of your interest? And now that he's been with the club for a couple of weeks, just how do you feel his implementation has been?
Well, I mean, I think when we were looking for an attacking midfield player, obviously Christian Paredes left. He was probably out the 3 midfield players that we had with Ayala, Chara and Zhao. Paredes was the only one that was probably a box-to-box attacking midfield player, so we really wanted to add goals to that position. We really wanted to add some quality, some legs, some energy. And you know, I think me and Ned sat down and we looked at probably MLS players more than players from abroad. I think that was the one position where we wanted to strengthen from within the league, and I think we had a short list of 2 or 3, and he was on my number 1 list. He was on my number 1 list. I'm glad that I worked with a GM that backs my judgment and obviously delivered that, because it was a great deal to be done. I knew he was a good player. When I'd played against him, when I'd followed his career, I'd seen his obviously his trajectory, his goals, his assists, plays in a number of positions. The minute I spoke to him, I thought he was incredibly ambitious. We set some really high markers for him, you know, MLS All-Star, a US national team, and those were the types of ambitions that he wanted. He wants to be pushed. And then when I saw him train for the first time, I think we've got one of the best central midfield players in the Western Conference, and hopefully in the MLS. So he's going to be a big part of our central midfield, and I think a massive part of this organisation, and I think the fans are going to love him.
Phil, Kevin Kelsey, what's the next steps for him this season? Where do you see him specifically making a difference besides inside of the 18-yard box? Is there anything specific?
Consistency in his performance. We believe in him. We trust him. We think he's got real high ceiling. But I think when you look at the 14, 15, 16 players, that MLS group that we've got that's tight, he's in a hell of a competition to start games of football now, because we've got Pipe Mora, who's had a brilliant pre-season, and we've had Gage Guerra, who's ready to start. And I say that because I think from probably the last 6 months, Gage has probably been pushing really hard, and we've probably not given him the opportunities that he probably deserves because of Pipe and because of Kevin. I think what we've seen in Gage since he's come back is a player that's took the next level, and now it's Kelsey, Mora or Gage to start on Saturday, and I think you'll see that in the first 14 games. So Kevin's got to rise to the challenge. I think we've seen an improvement in body language. We've seen an improvement in attitude. We've seen an improvement in consistency with him, and that gives me great excitement.
Morning, Coach.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Nice suit.
Come on now. Appreciate it. I got to team up with you on game day. I'm curious, Coach. What kind of in year 3, what gives you that confidence to say that you need to deliver this year? I know that it's taking some time. Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's something that's changed in the organization, but for you to make such a statement that you have to deliver this season, what makes you feel comfortable when you leave Providence Park that you guys can do that?
Well, that's life. I think I've not been given any the message from the owner, the message from the GM in the first year was we want to win. I think this is more of my own personal feeling. It's life. If you're in a place for a certain amount of time, I wanted time. I wanted time because I realised that the roster had to evolve and transition. And so this is just my own personal. This is my own personal trajectory. This is my own personal sort of like ambition. Is that if you're at a club where you feel as if you're making inroads, you feel as if you're like players are developing, the team's improving from year to year, there becomes a time when you've got to deliver. And I feel like me and my staff have delivered to a certain extent over the last 2 years, but delivery for me is winning. And other people have different types of barometers, different types of KPIs. And I've always thought that my KPI in my life has always been is nothing is success until you win. And that's what motivates me every single morning. That's why I think what motivates me to get out of bed, come into work and drive those players on. It drives the staff on. And so I think that's my own personal feeling is that in year 3, there's got to be a big shift. There's got to be a big step forward. There's got to be a big sort of like jump, because I think the last 2 seasons we've been sort of like nearly there. The first year, I felt as if we should have finished in the top 7. Last year, I felt as if we should have finished in the top 6. So I think we've underachieved a little bit in the last 2 years, even though I still think we've improved. But this year for me is the I've got to have the courage. I want courage from my team, and the team have got to have courage from the manager. And for me, it's the year to deliver.
How's David DaCosta doing? We saw him train on the side a little bit at Coachella and here at the opening training for media. Is there sort of a timetable that you're able to put on his shoulder?
No, it's going to take time. I think if we get him playing, I look at the first 3 or 4 games. I don't see David DaCosta being involved in the first 3 or 4 games. I think you look at the 14 games. With the length of time that he's been out, I think this first 14 games is going to be I think we've just got to get him 100% fit. He played the last 3-4 months of the season with a damaged shoulder. I think you could see that in his performances, and I don't want him back until he's 100% fit. And it's the same with Juan Mosquera. Juan Mosquera played the whole season last year with a niggling injury. And we withdrew him from training this year because I don't want any player on the pitch that's not 100%. I'd rather have a young player. I'd rather have a fit player on the pitch, because we saw at the end of the season how selecting players that weren't 100% fit had a real big detriment to the team.
Phil, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Piggybacking what Tyree said, and taking away the soccer and everything away, you've been a person that's been very involved in the city. We see you at charity events, fundraising events everywhere. I'm curious, how much does the city of Portland mean to you? And if you want to stay, how much do you want to stay and why?
Well, I built a house. I love the city. I love the people even more. I always think what do I love the most, the people or the city? I think it's the people, just slightly ahead of the city. I love the club. I work for an incredible owner who shows so much faith in me. So I feel as if I'm in the right place at the right moment in my life, and my daughter goes to one of the most incredible universities that accept her disability, accept her for being equal to everybody else, and that fills me with more pride than what I do in my own life. She's working in the city. She's studying in the city. My wife is happy in the city. So I think that means that I'm a happy guy, and when I'm happiest, I work at my best. And I think this is a very special place. I think a lot gets written about Portland, and I think until people come here, they don't realise the extent of the warmth of the people in this city. And I think it's a city that. I went into downtown the other day. It was Valentine's. I took my wife into town the other day, and we walked around the city, and I can see from where I was 3 years ago how the city is in a miles better place now than what it was 3 years ago. And yes, there's still so much work that we can do in and around the city, but I think in terms of, I hope my team and the city are mirroring each other, where we're just on a trajectory that's going all in one direction.
Phil, we have a question online about what your first impression of Cole was and what role you see him playing in the squad.
Cole's going to be a central midfield player. He's going to be an out-and-out central midfield player, box to box. I think when I look at, I hate comparisons, but if you think about, say, for instance, Frank Lampard type central midfield player that makes late runs into the box, scores goals, I do think there is a leader in there as well that can really flourish in this organisation. I think he will be inspired by playing in front of these supporters, because they're like no other organisation in the MLS. He speaks Spanish. He's an intelligent boy. He's a good-looking boy, which I think a lot of people have told me. And I think everybody's going to love him.
All right, time for one last question.
No. Not this year.
Profe, come on. Nuestros aficionados latinos quieren oír.
Sí.
2 temporadas con los Timbers, esa será su tercera, ojalá y no sea la última. 2 veces han llegado en la primera ronda del playoffs. ¿Qué tiene el equipo diferente este año que puede ofrecer para llegar más lejos?
Sí, este año tiene que ser diferente porque es hace 3 años en este club. Es un año donde yo quiero que yo tengo que entregar. Entonces, este equipo, mi cuerpo técnico, esta pretemporada, yo parece un poco diferente. Más centramos en el objetivo. Tenemos una plantilla en este momento muy pequeño, pero para mí es perfecto porque tenemos 15, 16 jugadores muy juntos en todos los aspectos. Entrenamos en la pretemporada, son buenos y en este momento jugamos contra Columbus este fin de semana. Es un partido bueno en casa, en frente de los mejores aficionados en la liga. Y esta temporada va a ser diferente porque 14 partidos y una descanso y el segundo parte de la temporada va a ser difícil también. Entonces estoy muy feliz con mi equipo. And tengo ganas para jugar no yo, pero mi equipo jugar este sábado. Gracias.
Thanks for the time, Phil.
Thank you.